Knight of Glory into Mirren Crusader. Get Arc Trailed. Retire for the day. All right, we're joining Eugene Cod.
That's K-O-O.
Koo. Eugene Koo playing Blue-White Delver. He's got the Restoration Angel Geist of St. Traft angle going with Rune Changer's Pike. Nothing too exotic.
He doesn't mind casting a Ponder on turn 1 either. As I have Konan, Ahmed playing Blue-White Delver as well. So Patrick, gear up because we have our first Blue-White Delver mirror for the day.
What?
That's right. Brace yourself.
Now, we are in game 2, though, so looking at the sideboard, we do see some differences. You know, Conan's got Batterskull, Sleep, you know, some sick stuff there. And on the other side, we're seeing Spectral Flight and Jace Memory Adept. So it'll be kind of fun to see what kind of spice these guys decided to bring in.
Now, I've got one Talrand in my main deck, and that's kind of that's what people consider to be the trump in the Delver mirror for Conan's deck list. Talrand is like kind of, you know, the way that you want to be if you want to get a leg up in the mirror. How many does Eugene have?
Just one in the board.
Okay. So Talrand is probably not going to play a huge role. You know, there's only one throughout these gentlemen's 75, but I think if they do draw one, things get a little out of control.
So the Delver matchup's kind of tricky because it's not about any one thing. It's not just like whoever draws their Stoneforge Mystic or whatever. There's lots of little battles and how they all match up, and an awful lot of just keeping the right cards with Ponder.
Just setting up your mid turns and your late game turns as best you can. As we see a Geist of St. Traft resolving here from Eugene. So this is where things get interesting because if that thing goes unanswered, obviously the game's going to end very quickly.
How is that even a real card? Deadly Insect costs 5.
I don't know how they just let that one go right on through. As we see a shuffle here from Ponder, Eugene thumbs up, happy with the shuffle. Happy now. May not be happy in a minute though.
No Phantasmal Images. He has some in the board, I guess. Eugene has 2 in the board. Any image action on Conan's side?
Konan has 2 as well, and none in the main deck, so Conan's drawing 2 ways to deal with it. He also has a Snapcaster Mage hiding in his hand if he wants to try to get it through, but that's a huge risk. Like, not getting any value off of it, can't just get snagged. You could just get really ugly. You could just get ugly if he tries to get it in there and block the Geist.
He opts not. Effectively Necroing. He's willing to spend 2 mana next turn, or 3 mana next turn, and pay an extra 6 life, or an extra, yeah, I guess 6 life, in order to make sure that he draws a card off that Snapcaster Mage. Oh, not yet. He might actually do it. I think I might actually do it if I were him too. The thing is, though, he gets punished by the Restoration Angel.
And now we're just, oh, there it is.
Talrand. Things slipping away from Konan.
This is quite the start for Eugene, and we're going to see a Taxin Pro make a win drake now.
The board
as well.
continuing to blossom and swell.
It's going to be a tough situation to come out from. I mean, it's certainly not impossible, but you're facing down different angles of attack now. You're facing down Geist, which is something you have to take care of, as we're going to see a gut shot and a Snapcaster on the gut shot. Okay.
So at least that deals with Talrand and the Geist.
Yeah, potential to block the Geist next turn.
It's certainly not the most reliable way to deal with the Geist, but
4 life sure does hurt. Knocking Konan down to 10.
It doesn't not hurt.
And now we're going to see a decent hand of Restoration Angel, Moorland Haunt, Plains, Mental Misstep, and Snapcaster Mage.
Yeah, that's a pretty good grip. Snapcaster Mage giving him some options, Mental Misstep giving him some protection, and Restoration Angel giving him a plan going a little bit big. It's a nice little grip. Plus he's got Moorland Haunt and all his colors. That's where he wants to be. This is not too bad considering he was facing Geist of St. Traft and Talrand.
Let's see what he draws. He draws an island. He can definitely work his way back into this game. We're going to see a Snapcaster Mage here. It's going to flash back to Ponder.
Ponder do. Bunch of land. Probably doesn't want this, right? Is there 2 land and 1 business spell?
I believe
see
so.
the 3rd card.
He
does keep.
Oh, he's
He wants-
shuffling.
Oh, he is shuffling.
I thought he kept 2.
So Eugene Koo with a 2/2 Drake, a Geist of St. Traft, plenty of mana and some cards in his hand versus Conan's pair of Snapcaster Mages. Kind of a lower life total. I think he's taken something like 10 so far.
Yeah, he's taken 10
4
this game.
from the Gut Shot, 6 from the Geist plus Angel.
6 from the very fair 3-drop.
Now it's interesting, Eugene can attack with his squad again, then Restoration Angel after the Geist gets blocked, knocking Konan to 4 and leaving him still with a Geist, plus multiple other flyers.
And we know he has that Vapor Snag in his hand too.
Yeah.
So I mean, while that is a potential point, you know, we do know that Konan does have a mental misstep, so now you get in a little battle of if he can leave the mana up to
Cost him
actually
2 life,
pay.
though.
Yeah, or if it's going to cost him 2 life. So, and here they come across.
So double blocking the Geist, he only single blocks.
There's Resto.
This is not good for Konan.
I thought for a moment he was going to be able to come back. I really did.
Well, then that's a point for me.
That's true. Keeping score. Keeping score. Patrick currently up 2-1.
So what's, I mean, do any of these sideboard options give Konan a shot here?
Well, again, you know,
Sleep?
sleep is,
A tough way to do it.
yeah,
But if you went sleep, snap, might sleep.
it's just bedtime. It's out cold.
If you're tired, be quiet and go to sleep.
That's right. Oh man, Snapcaster 2. Maybe he just wants to get a little bit of information this game. I mean, obviously, Costing the Probe's not going to hurt. Maybe he catches a sideboard card in his hand, get a better idea of what's going on. Going to be a very, very, very tough game.
But Konan did win game 1. So we will be looking at a game 3.
It looks like, yeah, we're going to be playing a 3rd game here. And we just did draw a Ponder on Eugene's side, too. So if he wants to Ponder pre-combat, maybe get a little bit of insurance, he can choose to do that as well. That's what he's going to snag a Snappy. We're going to... Alright, there's a mental misstep. Snappy. It's going to be a Mana Leak here. Snapcaster Mage. And I'll misstep that.
But the Flyers are going to do
But
the
Flyers, but
finish the job here.
Yep. Alright.
Let's go into game 3.
Game 3 we shall go. Konan will be on the play this game. And just looking at his sideboard once again, and just looking over his main deck as well. 2 Phantasmal Images likely to come in, especially because he just did lose the game to Geist of St. Traft. We know the mental missteps are in his deck right now. He has 2 sleeps in his sideboard, but I'm not particularly sure if this is the matchup where he wants them.
No.
I don't think so. Now, of course, we tuned in starting game 2. Patrick, any main deck equipment or any equipment throughout Eugene's deck?
He does have multiple pikes.
Okay.
2 pikes, and he's on the Geist of St. Traft rather than Blade Splicer build, so it's a little risky to play artifact removal. But
because there are 2 Divine Offerings hanging out here. There's also a Batter Skull, which does interest me.
yeah,
That's kind of an interesting way to trump things.
I could see wanting to open up the deli and let the Batter Skull run free.
Sounds delicious.
Absolutely.
And then 3 Blade Splicers, which, again, Conan's deck list has 4 Geist of St. Traps. I'm not really sure that's a natural way to be going about things. He definitely has options. I think the most likely ones that we're going to see, we've already seen the Mental Missteps, which he has 2 of, and 2 Phantasmal Images, which he has 2 of as well. Anything spicy besides that Spectral Flight on Eugene's side?
I mean, Jace Memory Adept. It's not clear that that's really what you want. in the modern like flying era of Delver, but Talran for sure. Not super spicy, but something you want. One of the things I like doing in these kind of matchups, though, is kind of mixing it up on them sometimes. You know, you got to just do stuff that isn't always even a 50% type of thing. Like, sometimes board in one dissipate randomly, so they don't know. Sometimes board in, you know, a negate. Maybe sometimes board in the blade splicer. Other times don't. Mix up which creatures you're cutting. You gotta, like, it's so helpful to have. They're so valuable to have a little bit of a diversity after boarding in these matchups, particularly when you have things like Ponder to look for them, but so that your opponent doesn't know the right cards to play around.
Yeah, it really just becomes like a huge mind game about what cards to play. You know, how's my opponent sideboarding, and just really just gets pretty crazy about what people can do and what to play around. It's a mini game inside a bigger game when you're playing a Delver Mirror.
I wish we had the side camera rolling to show you what's walking next to us. Just had a giant troll with a warhammer just sauntering by.
Was it Thrun?
He did not look like Thrun. He looked more like the Green Goblin from Spider-Man, but he was very clearly troll-esque with a giant hammer.
As we're going to see a Taxian Probe here from Eugene, revealing a Mana Leak, a Geist of St. Traft, a Mental Misstep, Snapcaster Mage, second Mana Leak, and a Moreland Haunt.
The Taxian Probe so valuable in this situation, letting you know what to play around. Actually, a little surprised that Konan didn't Mental Misstep it. Like, just swallow your pride. He doesn't get the card, you're down a card. You both paid 2 life, but at least he doesn't get the info.
Yeah, I think, like, well, you know, basically, you know, do you want to Mental Misstep this, as we see a little Mental Misstep battle over the Delver Secrets, or do you want to Mental Misstep the Gataxian Probe? Where do you want to start the fight? Because I do agree with you, the information is key. It's a big deal in this matchup.
So it all comes out the same in the end.
I mean, now it's going to be pretty interesting now, because like I feel like he had the Mental Misstep to be able to take care of the Delver. It was like part of his plan.
Yeah.
If he has a Delver to start, I'm going to Misstep it, and then I can hide behind this wall of Mana Leaks. Whereas now, he can't really do that.
Unfortunately, the Delver did not flip yet. But Eugene also short on white mana, right? So that Geist of St. Traft and Restoration Angel aren't coming down unless he draws a white mana.
Feeling for Delver, it does flip. It's a Dismember, which is not going to take care of that Geist.
Oh.
Cabinet of Souls is going to take care of that Geist.
There you go. Doesn't help with the Angel, but it is a start.
And we're in for 3 now. So Eugene is ahead on the board here. He also has a Dismember and a Moreland Haunt hiding in his hand. But again, the mana problems, they're going to need to get fixed quickly. For sure for Eugene. Because he's not... He can ride the Delver to victory, but it's not a guarantee. Draw himself a card. It is another island. It's just going to pass back. We're going to see a Moreland Haunt token get made here by Konan on the end step. Now, interesting that he played Eugene. He played an island there instead of a Moreland Haunt.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Like, I get that he doesn't want to leak the information, but it'd be nice to have the Moreland Haunt in place so that if you draw a white mana, you're threatening to use the Moreland Haunt.
So he does come across there with the Spirit token.
So what do you think about swinging there?
You know, it's interesting. You know, is it chump block time at this point?
You probably got to just wait until you have a second creature so that the 2 spirits can block the insectile. But
Konan going to be casting his newly drawn Delver of Secrets.
So he's got multiple Snapcaster Mages in his hand, so he will be able to mana leak for days.
Yes.
Eugene, meanwhile, has him on a relatively short clock for a guy who doesn't have any white mana.
He draws another island.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he's only playing 8 hard sources of white. He's got 2 caverns to help, but I mean, it's not like he even has that many draws. Half of them will come into play tapped at this point, too.
This is going to be a tough situation. I mean, I definitely agree that he needs to keep attacking. Because he does have the Dismember as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's real close.
Delver does not flip this turn. Glacial Fortress over there for Konan, along with, again, 2 Mana Leaks.
Snapcaster Mage, is that right?
Yes. We're going to see an attack with just this one. Because there's a Geist of St. Traft in the bin. Oh, well, you can't activate more than one, so I'm a little surprised that Delver did not attack.
Did he forget? Or maybe he's respecting Restoration Angel. Because the Cavern comes down on Angel.
That Cavern, that was a big draw. That second Cavern was a huge draw for Eugene.
So the Insect has Konan at, is this 4?
Yeah, he's moving down to 4 now. Cavern was huge there for just multiple different reasons. One, because it lets him cast the Angel, but two, like, there are 2 mana leaks over there for Konan, and now they're basically dead.
Absolutely.
So now,
this is,
glacial.
I mean, this is looking real good for Eugene. That Delver did not flip again.
Can't do anything about it. He's not going to blink it.
So Conan's going to need a Restoration Angel here?
So we see another Moreland Haunt.
There's even a Dismember. Eugene holding the Dismember. Doesn't want to get greedy and blown out by a Restoration Angel. I like that.
Just going to chunk block there. Okay. So he's going to move down to 1. So now a lot of cards have just been turned on for Eugene now. Gunshot, Vapor Snag, and some cards have been shut off for Konan. So
yeah, I think all of them.
Snapcaster Mage. Oh, it's just a Snapcaster Mage just coming into play. No reveal for Delver again.
It seems like an ambitious Snapcaster Mage. You're not going to kill him this turn. Don't you need to hold it in case you draw Vapor Snag so you can go zzz, zzz?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that was cast that turn.
I mean, I realize he's got 2, but I mean,
what if you draw running?
You don't really need the Coral Merfolk.
Yeah.
So I think Eugene's got this one in the bag, but you can never be sure until we know Conan's exact combination of cards. I mean, he could just, you know, a flurry of, like a Talrand followed by a flurry of cantrips could just completely take over, right?
That's definitely one combination of cards that can save him, as he's just passing back now. And I think that Dismember kind of all but locks the game. As we see, Eugene drew a Phantasmal Image for the turn. He's coming on in. He's reaching.
Saying, nobody goes in the tank that long and comes out with, okay, I'll cast Restoration Angel.
Yeah. And Eugene Koo, 2-1 over Konan Ahmed in the blue-white Delver Mirror. And looking over that game, it just feels like one card really... I feel like one card would have won both players the game. There's one card that stood out more than any other in that matchup, and it was Mental Misstep.
Mental Misstep looked real good. When people are relying on Delver Secrets and Ponder and Vapor Snag, I mean, Mental Misstep is real good.
You know,